What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Verdict. This will be our official second episode. Pretty pumped. Final Fantasy VII. Obviously, I'm always going to be pumped for some Final Fantasy VII news. So, once again, intros were super quick, super to the point. Today, we will be doing the verdict on Intergrade, not the entire game. We're not going to go in and talk about all the different graphical changes they made. We're specifically here to talk about the Yuffie Kisaragi DLC, which you cannot play on PS4. A lot of people are upset about that. Kind of is what it is. PS5, if you have one, and you can upgrade to Intergrade for free if you already own the game. If not, you'll have to buy the game, and then you can buy the Yuffie DLC, which I think was $20 add-on or whatever. Yeah, something like that. Unless you just buy the game outright. If you don't have it already and you just buy the game outright, it's cheaper that way, because then you just pick it up for the normal price of a game, and you'll get Intergrade for the entire Intergrade and the Yuffie DLC basically for free at that point. And then there's a couple little other things. There was I know there was deluxe soundtrack, deluxe art book, and then there was also the Cactar.
Yeah, it's like I could give them $10 for a weapon or something.
Oh, I fucking did it. We will get into that. I fucking did it, dude. It was great. But anyways, so those of you who don't know, normally our intros won't be this long on this. This is kind of a quick to the point show. The main reason we do this one is to give you a chance to hear our opinions, whether or not you want to actually put the money down for the Yuffie DLC. Moving forward with this show, like I said, that's its main goal. And the reason why is because as we move forward with new gaming consoles and they get stronger, more powerful, a lot of these games are going to start going up in price. You've already heard that there's going to be price hikes coming to these new systems, the 5 and the X series, where games are going to go from $59.99 to $69.99. $10 leap. Sooner or later, the games get keep more and more expensive. It's hard to just throw that down. So this hopefully gives you guys mine and JoJo. Sometimes we'll have other people on here as well. Probably see me and JoJo a lot, but our cons and our pros, and you can kind of take it from there, see what you want. We'll also have some gameplay going behind us as well every single time, so that way you can kind of get a sense of that too. And then the following week we do our review show where we actually talk about our thoughts and opinions, and that is not for anybody who doesn't want spoilers. So play it first, then go check that out. Here we'll try to stay off spoilers, but I can't promise anything because it's kind of hard to do that when you want to talk about some of these pros and cons. So that being said, watch at your own risk, but we will try our best to not spoil anything and save that for the other review show. But that's all I got for this. Like I said, Final Fantasy VII. It's made by Square Enix. If you don't know what Final Fantasy VII is and you've been a fan of this channel, I don't know what you watch. I literally don't know what you watch on this channel, because there's hardly a day that doesn't come out of my mouth at some point in a podcast or a different game or the fucking DFU. I'm talking about Final Fantasy VII at some point. So Square Enix, in my opinion, best game company out there. Obviously biased opinion, but they make a series called Final Fantasy. If you don't know about it, I don't know where you've been. But yeah, this is the remake of 7, which came out in 1997. Here we are doing our official remake, and that came out in 2020, was the official release. Here we are 2021 with the new systems. They upgraded and called it Intergrade, also giving us a DLC on Yuffie Kisaragi. For those of you who are new to the Final Fantasy world, Yuffie Kisaragi was an optional character in the original. You had a complete total chance to miss her. So a big reason why a lot of people were excited for this is because Square Enix really has anywhere they want to go. There's really no story for them to break, because there was none to begin with besides fighting the Tower of Power in Wutai. That's all Yuffie had, and the fact that she loves to steal materia. That's literally all they had with Yuffie. So there was a lot for them to work off, and yeah, like I said, we'll get into our deep thoughts on that on next Wednesday. But for this episode, let's go ahead and jump into the good. I'm going to go ahead and start off here on the verdict. So, character design. I'm glad she didn't wear the Moogle outfit the entire time, although the Moogle outfit was fire. The Moogle outfit was fire, but I'm glad we got to see Yuffie Kisaragi in her natural same outfit from the original game. Fucking loved it. She looked awesome. Sonnen, right? That was our partner, right? Sonnen?
Yeah.
Is that what they said it? Yeah. I didn't hate his character design, so I'll say that. Good character designs. Scarlet looking fire as always. Fucking amazing. I didn't really have an issue with any of the characters as far as anything new brought in. We got a lot of new characters from Wutai. or not Wutai, but Avalanche, the
Avalanche,
actual
yeah.
Avalanche. So there's that. My next good, Fort Condor. If there was ever anything to do with that fucking game from the original, goddamn, they keep bringing me back, JoJo. They keep bringing me back. Games like this that enter triple triad. I'm a fucking junkie. Fucking The
Yeah.
Witcher, Gwent. I'm a junkie. Fort Condor, when I played my first match, that's all I wanted to do. But I was like, I'm streaming it. Fuck, I have to do something else. I can't just sit here and play Fort Condor. I was like, I gotta beat everybody. And I fought everybody but Chadley. I didn't fight the Grandmaster yet. So I fucking love it, dude. It's so good. Oh my gosh. Voice acting. I loved the person that played Yuffie. Absolutely loved the person that voiced Yuffie. Had no issues with Sonon. It was weird with him just kind of calling her boss the entire time. But what I will say, which will come back to another one of my good points here, is that I absolutely love the dedication to keeping Yuffie. I felt like they did not skip a beat. She had the exact same personality from the original game. Being cocky, thinking she's fucking top dog. I mean, she was perfect. I loved Yuffie. Story connection. Perfect story. I was very, very worried about the Dirge Cerberus shit getting mixed in this early and how that was going to make sense when Vincent, that's like his whole shit, is going through all that with Deep Ground. Very worried about that. I think, if anything, they gave Yuffie another reason to fight besides I'm here to make sure that Vincent doesn't die. Which makes so much sense because obviously there's been fan service from day one of like, Yuffie and Vincent are a thing. They're going to be a couple, da-da-da-da-da. Like, that's been a big deal. Like, everybody wants to see Yuffie and Vincent be a couple. So, even though she's like, yeah, that's been a big thing. That's why she was a big member of Dirge Cerberus.
He's a vampire and she's a child.
I know, right? She's fucking 16. It's like, what? Yeah.
I guess that game takes place later, so maybe.
Yeah, technically, yeah, she'd be 18 because the movie takes place 2 years after the fallout of Meteor, and then the game takes place after that. So,
okay.
So yeah, she'd be 18. So yeah, story connection. I felt that was really done really well. On top of that, the Avalanche edition, because we've always known since the first game that Barrett led his own like excommunicated version of Avalanche because they were extremist and they didn't really 100% like fall in line with that. So we knew that from the get-go, so I'm glad that we got more expansion into that. It didn't break any of the story since you technically didn't actually have any communication with Cloud in the group. A lot of people on my stream were very confused on where this took place, so I just kind of want to clear that up for people who don't know. I said it on my stream, but in case you missed it, this is whenever Cloud fought Airbuster and fell into Aerith's church is when this was all taking place. So, but some people might not have played the remake yet and didn't really understand. They're like, because why do you see Tifa and Barrett but you don't see Cloud? And it's like, well, this is why. So yeah, story connection I thought was done really well. Expansion, like once again, I kind of touched on that during the story connection as well. The expansion on Yuffie, I really like how she's coming to, kind of help tie up these Wutai / Avalanche things. I like the whole DeChow beans. That was cracking me up. Just fucking her and her beans and a ninja can eat these. If you can't eat these, you're not a ninja. I like how they called them. Oh my god, what did they call them? What was it? Just W's? What did they keep calling them for short?
Yeah, they kept calling them W's.
W's. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that they kind of came up with their own like little code thing for that. And I really loved. Once again, comes back to the whole dedication to Yuffie's story, or to the character Yuffie. That like every time they'd ask her something and she didn't know what it was, she'd be like, "Of course I know what that is." And then I like whenever they're like, "Oh yeah, well we got to get your IDs ready," and she kept calling it a high D the entire time. She's all like, "Activate high D," and I was like, "God damn it, dude, I love Yuffie." So that was great. Let's see. So we talked about story connection, expansion. Just the story overall was really good. I like how they made Scarlet a really big deal to them because outside of that, she's really not a big deal in the original game. You really don't see her too much besides the end when she makes the prod Claude fucking machine and fights you, and then that's really pretty much all you really deal with her. I mean, it's more just hiding from her. I mean, the only other time I can think of her in the original game was like fucking when you were in Gungaga and you were hiding behind the reactor waiting for her to leave so you can get the fucking Titan materia out of the reactor and bounce. Other than that, like, I don't really think you deal with her all that often. Oh, and then the Tifa shit. Obviously, her and Tifa fighting each other on the cannon, which was always amazing. So, you know. But, more clear ending. This is where we will try to dodge some spoilers here. But the cut scenes that happened, besides the Zack one, which a lot of people already know about, besides the Zack one apart, I feel a lot better as a player of the original on where I think part 2 is going to pick up. I don't think they're skipping anything out because I could easily see them seeing Calm as a throwaway place. And I was really hoping it wasn't going to be. And they literally showed us, like, no, you're going directly to Calm. So, pumped.
It seemed like they had this cutscene to then not have to do the part where you have to walk out in the open world.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't want to deal with that yet.
Yeah, so I mean, and which I understand. I mean, the world map itself is fucking gigantic. So to sit there and have to do that for a remake, like, I don't even think they know how they're gonna do that yet. My guess is we probably won't do anything world map wise until, like, if they keep the story true, until we get the fucking buggy from the gold saucers. That way we have something to drive to get us to where we're going. Other than that, I don't think that we'll actually deal with the world map. And that's even if. I could even see them wait until we get Highwind before they actually let us fucking access the world map.
Yeah.
So
they're willing to abstract it, like, as to just be a top-down sort of not fully rendered kind of thing.
It's gonna be nuts. But so yeah, we'll have to wait and see how they're gonna do that. I feel like I don't want to talk shit about Square Enix here, but I feel like they don't even know what they're gonna do with the world map yet. I mean, it's gonna be fucking nuts, dude. So yeah, like I said, don't want to get into too many spoilers. We'll talk more about that during the review show next week. But as I already went and talked to a little bit more, and I can kind of add on this a little bit more too. The dedication to Yuffie, the constant after the materia, great, loved it. I loved her constantly talking about her skills, constantly, like I said, she's top dog, she's number one, she's smarter than everybody. I will say this, when they had the scene in the elevator with Scarlet, I really liked the switch in character progression there for Yuffie, because you could easily see, like, how Yuffie is, that she would fall for what Scarlet was trying to goad her into. Even though it didn't matter anyway, because Scarlet already fucking knew, which that was fucking just smart on Scarlet's part. But at the same time, I mean, they're walking around looking like fucking ninjas. They look like they're not from Midgar. Like, I mean, let's just be honest. So, obviously, but it was just nice to see that, like, when it was on the line, Yuffie still knew that, like, hey, this is what I need to fucking do. Like, I need to not put us in jeopardy. So yeah, I really like the dedication to Yuffie's character. I think they did a really well job with that. Yuffie's kit, fucking her battle system is amazing. Her fighting style is so fucking good. Oh my god, I loved the being able to throw shit, fucking basically teleport to it is what it fucking felt like. But being able to just get in close that way, back out whenever you need to. The addition to the ninjutsu magic was fucking phenomenal. And the fact that you can change the elements and shit to it too was awesome. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed Yuffie's kit. The remade music, I didn't hate it. Absolutely loved how they kind of made her, I think it's called Descendant of Shinobi. Yeah, Descendant of Shinobi is Yuffie's actual theme song. I like how they made it a more upbeat, kind of like fighting music for her to have. And I really enjoyed that, because the original one is a lot more slow paced and stuff like that. I think you only really hear it whenever you go down to her room where she traps you and then steals your materia. And then I think after that you only hear it whenever you actually find her. She tells a story about the fact that, like, oh, I'll join you, da-da-da-da-da. So that was pretty cool. I can't wait to see her interactions with the actual team. Like, honestly, I really can't. Like, I hope she calls Cloud spiky hair. If she refers to Tifa as boobs like she did in the original, it just once, I will lose my shit, dude. That would be so great. I just love how she just doesn't care. But yeah, the remake music was great. Mini games. I enjoyed the minigames, honestly. The whole fucking soldier training class with all the boxes, kind of like how we already had with the kids. That was one of those where I was like, fuck yeah, dude, let's get all this materia right now. On top of that, Yeah, just the mini games. Like I said, Fort Condor. Already talked on that. That was fucking awesome. They did a really good job implementing that for a DLC. I kind of hope they bring it into the actual game though. I really hope they like moving forward. Like we actually get to continue to keep doing Fort Condor as like an actual thing that you can do on the side in every town that you go to. You can be like, oh yeah, because my guess, honestly, bringing it back to the world map, I really think it's gonna be a thing like whenever you go to leave, it's gonna be like, all right, cool, pick a town you want to go to, and then you'll click that, and then it's fast travel. Like there's not gonna be walking to, and that's fair. I mean, if we want better graphics, we're gonna have to sacrifice somewhere, and a world map is literally the only place that we can really sacrifice and just be like, it is what it is, you know. I mean, we all know what the map looks like at this fucking point. So yeah, mini games. I had a fun part, and then my last thing on the good. No Kingdom Heart enemy feel. Thank you, God. Even the big boss did not feel like a Kingdom Hearts battle. The big fucking robot thing, it did not feel Kingdom Hearts-ish to me.
No, yeah.
Yeah. The gigantic dude at the end of fucking 7 felt very Kingdom Hearts to me, where you were fighting the fucking whispers and shit or whatever the fuck they are. Arbiters.
Yeah, I mean, so, again, we don't want to spoil things, but the last person fight you have, that guy seems like a Kingdom Hearts character. I know he's not, but that guy has a vibe, like...
I get where you're coming, and I would agree with you if his original character design wasn't done in another game by, I'm pretty sure, someone else. I don't think Tetsuya Nomura worked on Dirge Cerberus. So, I would agree with you if it wasn't for that.
Sure.
I would agree with you. But whenever we get into those gigantic fucking enemies and all this other shit, like, I hate that stuff. Like, you leave that in Kingdom Hearts. That's where that shit belongs. Don't bring that into fucking Final Fantasy VII. We don't ever fucking fight anything like that besides Bizarro Sephiroth and Safer Sephiroth and maybe the fucking snake in the fucking Midgard swamp. But other than that, leave that shit out of here. Oh, well, and then Diamond Weapon, Emerald Weapon, and Ruby Weapon. Sure.
Yeah, you
obviously.
just listed a lot of things.
Yeah. Fair enough, JoJo. Okay, if you're going to twist my fucking arm. All right. Anyways, so that's what I had for the good. JoJo, what did you have to add on to that?
Look, I liked Yuffie in this, for sure. I have way less attachment to her than you do, obviously, because you seem to have a lot of attachment to her, and I
breathe this game. I breathe Final Fantasy VII.
I finished the game once, or whatever, I didn't have as much pre-expectation of what Yuffie should be like, necessarily, but I liked her.
Right.
Really good. The voice actress is really good.
Yep.
And yeah, she was fun. Like, it took me a bit to get how to play as her. Like, I died against... There's, like, really early on. Like, here's 2 wolves to fight. And I had to do that fight, like, 3 times. I just kept fucking it up.
Oh, okay, got you.
And when I figured it out, it felt good. It was fun. Let's see. What? Oh, yeah. I like Scarlet being in the game a lot. I'm all for them fleshing out any character that was in the original game. Like,
right.
All those, the Jesse and the Biggs and stuff. Scarlet also.
Absolutely.
Very into that. Fort Condor is fun. It's a lot like that Final Fantasy 13 minigame, actually, too. They have, like, a minion collecting thing you can do.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That's neat. Did you do the minigame? There's, like, a guy who's, like, a turtle bar.
Yes! I forgot about that! Yes! Yeah. The fucking, is it called Turtle Paradise? Happy Turtle. Something like that. Happy Turtle. Yes, dude, that was from the original. That was a remade situation from the original. You had to find those flyers in the original as well. That was fucking great.
There's 6 of those to collect, and each one of them, there's a record player thing playing a different original
version of that song.
Lyrics about turtles, and it's insane.
It's amazing. I was so happy with that.
Like, I found the first one, and it was like this, 50s jazz thing or something. I can't, and I was like, wow, that's cool that they made a theme song for this club. And then I find the second one, and it's
like a rock one and shit like that. Yeah, it was awesome.
It was really funny.
It was awesome. They did a good job with that. I'm happy they brought that back.
That was my favorite. That's weirdly my favorite thing. But yeah, I think, it looks really nice. Well, good to play. Yeah, it was a nice little
addition. Yeah. I mean, and a couple of things to also add in, that I kind of forgot earlier. one of those being talking about the dedication to Yuffie's character, all her stuff. Where, because like I said, you don't remember that much about, if you don't remember that much about her, whenever you fucking get with her and stuff like that, she does like all that like hitting shit and stuff like that. I love that they kept that in here. Just her psyching herself up and shit. She does that all the time. And then on top of that, as far as crossing things into the story, and that's because I got my gameplay up, so I'm actually seeing certain things that I forgot about. I'm really excited that they decided to introduce her to the Sephiroth / Genova clones early. So that way when she gets with the team and she hears Cloud and them say stuff like Reunion and Genova, she at least knows what to compare that back to. She doesn't know the context, but she'd be like, oh, I heard that from this da-da-da-da-da, which gives her a quick fill-in into Sephiroth, da-da-da-da, Genova, da-da-da-da, she's got these clones, da-da-da-da, that's what you saw, we gotta do this. Okay, cool. Dots are connected. Let's go. Like, right, yeah. I mean, regardless, Yuffie would act like she would know what the fuck they're talking about, even if she didn't. It doesn't matter. But still, I'm glad that they did that because that really helped add her in appropriately. And like I said, I think at the end of this game, when we finally get there, God knows how long it's going to take, which I'm completely fine with taking as much time as they need. As long as I don't die before the game is done, I'm happy. But that being said, I think that they did a really good job of adding her into a spot where at the end of the game, she's going to have a reason to fight other than I'm just here to take the materia after it's all done and over with.
Right.
Which, spoiler alert, for those of you who didn't finish the original game and didn't read the books afterwards, Cloud still doesn't let her do that anyway. So, doesn't matter. He gives her all the healing materia because she's like, oh, I need to take materia to help my village. Okay, cool. Well, there's no reason for destruction materia, so here's all the healing materia. But, I mean, what if I run into a monster on the way? Well, then you call us and we'll come help you out. Like, Cloud was just not giving up that materia. What happening, dude? What happened? But yeah, no, like I said, I'm super excited on how they did certain things. We got to see Johnny again, which was pretty cool to go against him at Fort Condor. Yeah, which me and you had that conversation on last week's podcast. Actually, it was this week's podcast because it was last week we recorded it, about if there was a statue I wouldn't collect. And my girlfriend was like, I for sure thought it would be Johnny. And I was like, nah, I'd have to get Johnny. I'd have to. Anyways. But, okay, well then, yeah, that's all I got for the good. That's all you got for the good. I guess let's go ahead and jump into the bad then.
So then here, we got negative points about this. I wasn't expecting it to end, I guess, when it ended. It felt a little short.
Okay.
I don't know. There was enough there, I guess, but like it just like you get one summon, and then use them like twice, get a couple weapons, and it's a contained thing, and so I get it, but also just felt abrupt, I guess. Yeah, I expected there to be a bit more gameplay when they just kind of had a cutscene of the thing.
Cutscene,
kind of, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
So the Dirge Cerberus stuff, like they show off this guy, like, oh shit, here's this guy you know, probably. We think this is a big deal to you, the viewer, yeah. And I'm like, I think I saw this person, maybe, I don't know, or maybe this is one of those other guys, because there's like 13 dudes who have sort of silvery hair in the series. So they put a bit more emphasis on. He's like out of left field, sort of, to that, like he doesn't, he has no connection to them. He's just like they have a conflict with Scarlet, like that makes sense. And then here's this other guy who's there because they needed another guy. So I was not like super into that. This is not necessarily just a Yuffie storyline thing, but like, or if you have played the main game before and now we're getting this PS5 version, the stuff you have to do with transferring a save is complicated in a weird way. That's just
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the worst. They could have made it. They
yeah.
they could
But
have
like
made it worse, but yeah.
I had to re-download 100 GB of this
There you
game
go.
and
Yeah.
then do a thing. It's just
Yeah, I guess that's fair for me. I already had it downloaded, so then I was
right.
just able to just pop, 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 and then done.
Yeah, it's just like a weird little hurdle to get over. The new guy you hang out with isn't thrilling. Sonam is, fun, but like, eh, he's pretty boring most of the time. I think.
That's one of my bad ones. Is Rush character on him.
Yeah.
100% Rush
You
character.
know, also they couldn't make him know whatever happens that he's not hanging out with the party later on in Final Fantasy VII. Like if they're following the plot, like that guy's not
Yeah.
there for some reason. I guess they couldn't make him super cool.
Not enough time
bummed
to fall in
out.
love with that character at all.
Yeah. Um. Yeah, I think it's most. Just everything felt a little quick. Like I finished that Fort Condor mini game all in like half an hour or something, and then it's
Hmm.
like, oh,
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
they don't spread it out. Let's say that. I guess it's all in that one part of Midgar, and then you go do other stuff elsewhere. None of that stuff follows through first in the way you would hope.
Right.
Yeah, that more or less covers it, I think.
Yeah, so for me, you covered some stuff that I had, but yeah, Rush character was the big one. Not that I really gave too much shits about Sonon, if I'm being honest, and I've been very
No,
honest about that before the DLC came out on plenty of podcasts that I didn't care about this guy. But yeah, for what happens, da 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 da, you guys can figure it out whenever you go to play the game. If not, obviously next Wednesday we'll be jumping more into it. But I don't think they gave us enough time to really care about any of that stuff.
yeah,
I agree with you. So it's kind of I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. I think for them to introduce deep ground early enough for it to make sense to Yuffie, it was a good play. For them to do it for a consumer part, it was not a good play because no one understands anything about that.
no.
It's so random and out of nowhere that it's like,
Also, I
what
don't
the
think
fuck? Even like original
Yuffie.
people who played it without playing Dirge's Cerberus are going to be
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is all this?
even like within the context of what's happening there, I don't feel like Yuffie knows what's happening. She just interacts with
No,
this one weird ass guy.
right. But the thing is
or
that I
learn
obviously
anything.
they're going to key that up for Vincent to have a lot more shit to do with that, and
Hopefully,
Yuffie
yeah,
is now going to have a reason to fight Deep Ground herself.
yeah,
She now has that reason versus it was just I'm here because Vincent's here. So I appreciate that because that motive to me is always sloppy. It's just lazy. It's just I'm here because so and so's here. So you're just here to fight because so and so's here. Like in Dirge of Cerberus, Cloud and them aren't a fucking thing until like the last cutscene. Everybody shows up because it's like an all-out fucking war that's going down between Deep Ground and WHO, which is
the
fucking
World
some
Health Organization.
I can't remember what they called, or was it WHO? I feel like it was. What was the organization they called it? I don't. It's some shit Reeves created to kind of help out with people who were suffering from the fall of Meteor, and shit like that. Let's see, Reeves organization in Dirge of Cerberus. I feel like it was called WHO. WRO. There you go. WRO founded the World Regenesis Organization. So
I'm
that's it.
separately just curious, looking up.
Yeah. In
So
the original
Murdoch
game, he
police
is the head of the urban development for Shinra Company, which makes sense because he was, and the creator of Kate Sith. By Dirge of Cerberus, Reeves has founded the World Regenesis Organization, or the WRO, and helps Vincent Valentine several times throughout the game. So it's more like she's there to kind of help facilitate that, but also to make sure that Vincent doesn't get into some shit. So it's like now she actually has a reason to be there, and for them to do it where it doesn't destroy anything main timeline wise makes sense that they would do it this early, because my guess is we're going to run into Yuffie as soon as we leave Calm.
yeah.
With the fact of the last cutscene with her in it, and how they ended that off and where she was kind of located at, if you pay attention to some of the surrounding desert, if you will, I feel like we're going to either run into her in after Calm or right after we get through with the Midgard Swamp, if they keep going the trajectory. Because we're going to go to the Chocobo Farm. That's going to happen. Like, that obvious.
Yeah.
It's in one of the cutscenes. Once again, not really a spoiler alert, but we see Chocobo Bill. Like, it's going to happen. Like, so next would be the swamp to get to the Mithril Mines. And then on the other side of that is whenever you start getting a bigger chance of running into Yuffie.
Okay.
In the original game. That's when you start getting a bigger chance. You have the chance to hit her like right after Calm in the original. And then it's like, if you don't get her, there's only one spot in the entire map. Rocket Town has this small little forest outside of it when after you get Sid. That if you go in there, it's a 99% chance Yuffie will fight you. But you have to go into the forest and run around until you obviously get a random encounter. So, yeah. So I think we're going to hit her pretty early. And I think that's why they were okay with this being so short, because she's going to show up to the party with this kind of materia and the summon and shit like that. And you're going to be able to just incorporate that into the rest of the team and then continue to keep moving on. So
yeah,
it somewhat makes sense.
Also, I wasn't expecting there to be any DLC or anything. And when they said there would be, I was like, that's why there's another game to make. What are you doing?
Right.
But
I think
it reuses areas, mechanics in a way that's fine.
So I feel like for the progression of the story, DLC is good. DLC is good. I want the actual main hardcore of the story to be in the games. If you want to give me DLC where you kind of introduce these characters and have their own introduction, especially, well, let me rephrase that. We only really needed it with Yuffie. I mean, if we want to do some stuff with Vincent before he gets into his coffin and we find him in Nibelheim, I'm all for that. So that way we can get some more background on, that was what Dirge Cerberus was really about, was giving us Vincent's backstory. So many people wanted to know more about Vincent because he was the most mysterious person in the game. All you knew is that he fucking hated Hojo. Like, that was it. It's like, okay, well, why does he hate Hojo so much? And that's what that game was about, is why he hates Hojo, who the fuck Lucrezia even is, because no one fucking knew. Besides, we have to go there to get our fucking Ultima weapon. I mean, that's and our last limit break. That's all we fucking knew about Lucrezia. So it was really hard to understand all that, and they really fucking did a good job telling that story that made sense. It was comprehensive. Just the deep ground stuff. They had to give Vincent someone to fight, and they were like, all right, cool, let's make this whole organization of Shinra that fucking Vincent thought was gone, and now we'll bring this back, and Hojo is still around for it. Even though we thought Hojo was dead, he did some crazy shit, and now Hojo's still around. Basically, you're not going to go fucking play the game anyway, but he fucking basically uploads his intelligence, which is what they were doing. It's what they were doing with Weiss. Whenever he's like, what are they doing? He's like, they're trying to basically make a copy of me. Yeah, that's what Hojo did to himself before he died at the end of the game. So then he's able to still move through Shinra's shit, and he's the one that's activating Deep Ground and getting all that shit going, and then he basically forces himself into Weiss's body and uses Weiss as a host. So he's got this new muscled fucking body, and then Vincent has to kill him and take Hojo out. Yeah, it was a lot.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it was a lot. So, yeah, that's how they all kind of fucking fit in. The guy that you saw, I can't remember his fucking name right now, the dude with the wings. He's a badass. Yeah, I didn't have an issue with him, and whenever I saw him in the Dirge Cerberus game, I'm kind of glad they brought him back because he's a very interesting character. And yeah, he's one of those where he's like, he has just so much potential, but he has to go through so much like actual anguish and pain, and like just different boundaries for him to get there, which is kind of cool. So like whenever you saw, they did it really early in this DLC, but whenever his hands came loose, like when his hands came loose in Dirge Cerberus, that was like an oh shit moment. Like, you fought this dude so many times, and his hands were still like this, and then the moment his hands came down, you were like, fuck, this is about to be a fight. Like, this is about to be a fight. So they did that pretty early in the DLC, which kind of sucked, but, I mean, it is what it is.
That seems like it would undersell the guy.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, and this rando are making him do that.
Mm-hmm. But, so yeah, like I said, a lot of it was rushed, but I can see where if they did it the way that they just did it, it makes sense with Yuffie and stuff like that. It is going to confuse a lot of people. There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. there probably is a better way to do it, but in Square Enix's defense at this moment in time, because I haven't put much thought into it, I don't know where else they would put it that it would make any more sense. So
Yeah, and I tried
this was a
looking it
rip
up.
the band-aid off moment, in my
They're like,
opinion.
Scarlett's one of only 3 people in the organization who knows about these weirdo guys underground, so it makes sense
Hmm.
for her to actually be the one who. But like, also what? Yeah,
Yeah. So, like I said, it was definitely a rip the band-aid off moment, in my opinion, and it kind of is what it is. But the only other thing I really had on my bad, because I mean I've really just expanded on the shit that you talked about so far, was out of all the cutscenes, the Zack one still fucking confused, still very fucking confused. Nothing is really
that's not
tying
helpful.
together with that. I don't know
Yeah.
why that was added besides a conspiracy theory that I told JoJo before this, and I'm not going to say now. I'm saying that for the next review show because there's definitely spoiler alert and stuff like that. And we will talk about that there. But yeah, I am very confused. I had a lot of people in my chat who had already watched the cutscene due to the fact that I actually did not play it until the day after it came out because I had work and shit. And I was like, I'll just fucking finish off work, get done early, and then fucking stream it. Yeah, and wanted to hear my thoughts on it. Yeah, I guess you'll get that next Wednesday. But that was my other
Yeah.
thing was like for us to be as confused. I feel like at some point Square Enix has to understand we want something that's going to leave us with answers versus more questions. And so far, everything we've gotten has just been more questions, which is
I mean,
kind of infuriating. But I also understand this is not going to be a quick process. This is a step among step among step and a journey that we are going on with the different parts of this game. Sooner or later, it will make sense. That is whenever my ultimate judgment will be whether did I like it or did I not.
sure.
Because I'm
Yeah.
not going to be like all these other YouTubers who have jumped off the fucking bandwagon because they got their feelings hurt because fucking Zack is alive in the original, or Zack isn't alive in the original, and so far he looks like he's alive in this one. I want to wait, see what actually happens. Once again, so many things can happen here. So
Yeah.
many things. So
Yeah, I would say
we'll
the
see.
the Zap scene in this, it's not even that it raises more questions or anything. It's the same question, kind of.
Yeah, it
It
just
almost
doesn't give you
doesn't
anything.
feel like it changes anything. It's a weird choice.
Yeah. So I'm not really 100% sure. I will say I did like Yuffie's reaction, even though it really doesn't have anything to do with her. I did like how everything started to click with her leading up to the plate falling, and then for her to see the plate fall and
Oh, yeah, I
still
forgot that
feel
that scene
somewhat responsible.
is
I
incredible,
think
actually.
very well done, very well done. So for her to get there and still feel somewhat responsible, like she could have helped stop that, I think that's great. Because she, until her and Sinan, or until she had told Sinan, she didn't even know what the fuck they meant by the plate. She was like, "Yeah, they're gonna drop a plate on." He's like, "They're gonna do what?" And then she was like, "Oh no, wait, is this like a serious thing?" Because I'm pretty sure she was thinking like an actual plate, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, they're gonna drop the whole upper city, and she's like, holy shit, what? And it's like, yeah, it's so yeah, I mean that's pretty much what I had for the bad. I didn't really have anything else to add. Do you have anything else to add before we move on to the stamp?
I guess not.
Nope. Okay, well, fair enough. Then let's move right on to the stamp then. All right, so here we are with the stamp. So my final opinions right here for you are as a DLC addition to Final Fantasy VII Remake, which once again, Final Fantasy VII is my favorite game of all time. I absolutely enjoyed this DLC. I did not hate it at all. I had fun playing it. It felt as fun as playing 7 Remake until I got to the first Zack scene in the Kingdom Hearts fights, because I absolutely loved the game up until that fucking point. But I really enjoyed it, man. I think that, like I said, there are a couple of things here and there that it's kind of like but at the same time, I don't have answers that would make what they did any better. So, like I said, I think if they're gonna incorporate the entire compilation into one game, there are going to be some rip the band-aid off moments, and I think this was just one of them. This was one of many that they're going to have to do, unfortunately. Like, it just is. I mean, we already had hints at before Crisis, whenever they talked about the assassination of the president and how some people tried to kill him whenever we first saw them in the game, whenever they first saw Cloud, it's like, are these the same sewer rats that tried to take my life? I don't know. I'm still looking into that. They're directly referencing before Crisis because there was an attack on the president in that
felt
one.
more naturally included in dialogue.
It did.
There are more subtle ways to.
I was trying to show the two differences exactly. So you have the subtle way, and then you have the rip the band-aid off moment. So I think it's going to be a back and forth because, I mean, we have a lot of shit. I mean, there's the end of Crisis Core showed that Genesis wasn't dead. Are we going to see Genesis just show the fuck up out of nowhere? Could actually happen. Like, this could happen. So...
Are we going to see him show up out of nowhere who hates, like someone who doesn't know him? Also, it's just oh, here Barrett sees this guy and like,
oh man, I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy. I'm excited to see where they go. Like I said, I absolutely love this DLC. I had a great time. So if you're looking into, unfortunately, trying to get a PlayStation 5, which by all means, good fucking luck. It's just getting harder and harder. I mean, even the fucking CEO of Sony came out and was like, I'm fucking outraged by how you guys aren't getting systems and all these scalpers are. And it's like, and at one point, everybody throws hate at him because it's like, well, you could make sure we get it, but they can't. It's the retailers. It's really the retailers at this point. Like, Sony Direct has done the right thing in doing it for just members. But, I mean, even still then, there's a flaw in that system. If I can give any advice to people who are looking for a PlayStation 5, I haven't heard any other retailers change their fucking thing but Target. If you get a chance for a Target drop, try to go for a Target drop. Target is the only people who have changed how they're doing it. They're doing all their sales online, like everybody else, but the actual systems are allocated to specific stores in your area. That's the only reason I got one, because the majority of these scalper rings, it's like 82% of them, are in the UK. They can't come pick up a fucking system in the middle of fucking nowhere in the United States. That's how I got mine. I literally 2 weeks straight, within half a minute, every fucking drop I was at instantly sold out within half a minute. Target, that shit lasted for like an hour and a half. People were able to get systems because basically Target saved up all their fucking stock and then distributed like fucking 5 to every store across the United States. And then fucking turned on the sales, and people fucking got them. Because like I said, scalpers can't come pick them up. They're not going to come pick them up. And Target refuses to ship them to you. You have to come pick it up in the store. If more retailers would do that, we would get more systems. 100%. Walmart needs to fall in line. GameStop needs to fall in line. Best Buy needs to fall in line. They don't feel it's their job. Well, remember, at the end of the day, who fucking stuck their neck out for you? That's all I'm saying. So Target changed, everybody else needs to change. Don't get mad at Sony. You need to get mad at these other motherfuckers. That's who's not helping you get a fucking system any faster. So if that helps you get a system, awesome. Please leave that in the comment section below because I would like to know that people are getting systems. I absolutely hate this scalper shit. I know it's hard, especially now that I have one. It's a lot easier for me to say I would never fall for the scalper shit, but and trust me, if Final Fantasy 16 and this were coming out at the same time and that was breathing on my neck, I'd be in a fucking hot seat trying to get an Xbox or a PS5 right now if I didn't have one. So trust me, I know, but we can't give in. We can't give in. Someone needs to get punished for this, and it's the scalpers. If they have to sit on all these fucking PlayStation 5s and lose out on all this money, fucking good. Let's have it happen. Let's have it happen. Don't fucking fall for it because they try, dude. They try. I remember doing the Amazon drops. They would literally fucking sit there, and it was like, Amazon drop's supposed to happen at this, and there would be so many of them where they would put them in there for like an extra $200, and all those would be sold out. And they're like, I got mine, and people would post their pictures, and everybody would be like, man, dude, you just fell for a scammer. You just fell for a scammer. You just fell for a scammer. Every single time. And it was like, oh my God, guys, you gotta wait for the actual prices. So it sucks, man. It sucks that people abuse system like that. But hey, there's pieces of shit, and that's never going to change. So back to what I was talking about, the stamp. Does it get my stamp of approval? Yes. Yes, it does. Absolutely. If you get your hands on the PS5, get Intergrade. 100% get Intergrade. Play the original if you can. Like, it's on every fucking console at this point. Play the original. Play Intergrade. These are great additions to the Final Fantasy series. 7 is goated in my opinion, and in a lot of other fucking people's opinions. It's known as one of the most popular out of the franchise, but at the same time, the franchise is huge. So there are a lot of people who have a lot of different favorite games. They're all great. If you can play any of them, I suggest it. But 7 Remake right now, perfect example because it's new. It's what's going on. It's catered to the new use of the systems. It's catered to the new use of battle systems because a lot of people don't want to play fucking turn-based games anymore. Hack and slash is where it's at. They're doing a good job. Try it out. Like I said, Intergrade, fucking loved it. If you don't want to do that and you just want to hear the story, like I said, me and JoJo will definitely be covering it in full next week on Wednesday and kind of talking about our thoughts and views. But, like I said, for me, stamp approval, absolutely. JoJo, go.
This is dumb. I just remembered the negative thing I wanted to say earlier was also this game has loading times still that are noticeable.
For PlayStation 5.
Yeah. That are not in other PlayStation 5 games. I was playing Ratchet and Clank, and it's just like, whoa, immediate. This game, it's like,
I think because it's a port versus like an actual built for the system.
Like that Spider-Man game is on both systems and doesn't have load time. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be better when they're designing just for the PS5. But like that was a little bit of a bummer.
Yeah, I think part 2 will be a lot faster. Yeah,
of being a PS5 game.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that said, like I wasn't super excited about this necessarily because like, Yuffie, not that invested, necessarily. But like then I started playing it and it was a lot of fun and she's good in it and I enjoyed it a lot. It's like as a $20 thing to get, as a person who already has a PlayStation 5 and already owns this game. With that caveat, yes, that was a good. I was happy to play it and buy it and stuff. You don't have a PlayStation 5, you don't necessarily spend $1 million to get one just to play the 5 hours of Yuffie DLC. But yeah, like if you've got it and you've got access to it, like and it's good. It's fully separate, right? It's like not you don't have to stay to a certain point in the main game on a save file to be able to get access to this Yuffie thing. It's just like this independent thing, easy to play right away. Nice. And you can transfer save, so it's not regardless.
Right.
I like it, yes. So I stamp it as good.
As good. Boom. Stamped. Got him. So yeah, that's our views. Once again, the verdict, like I said, I'm only going to do this for the first couple shows, and after that we'll be on the normal routine with this. But once again, the verdict is here to help you guys make decisions before you have to throw actual money down. Like I said, this stuff gets to be a lot more expensive, and if we're already going to go ahead and do it, if we can just throw our feedback out there, I know how super useful that is because I used to do that myself where I would look for people who I like to listen to, opinions on video games, and then make that purchase based on that. So, like I said, if you're planning on moving forward into the Final Fantasy series and you want to play Final Fantasy VII, I absolutely recommend you play this DLC. Absolutely. It was really, really good, as JoJo said. If you already have a PlayStation 5 and that's not extra cost you have to look into, at the current time, would I fucking go buy a scalper's PlayStation 5 so then I can pick up Intergrade and then play this DLC tomorrow? No, absolutely not. Wait till you can get one for a normal price so that way you have a fucking PlayStation 5. Do I think that you should get a PS5 so that way you can get ready for part 2? Absolutely. But once again, I would still wait. Do not fall for the scalping bullshit. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, turn on notifications. That way you get notified next time we upload another video because you don't want to miss out our full talk on the DLC, our thoughts and opinions. That's going to go way beyond the goods and the bads. It's going to be all spoilers and stuff like that. We're going to dive deep into it, rip it open, talk about, in way greater detail what we liked and what we didn't like, and just how we feel it's going to fit into the story, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so make sure you turn on your notifications. That way you get notified for that. Hit us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts and views if you've played it. Once again, we try to keep that spoiler free too. If you got some spoiler questions you want to ask, make sure to throw those down next week because that's when we'll be able to look into those as well. And then, normally we round back on comments in the podcast and stuff like that too, so you can always look out for that. But we also have our Twitch and our Twitters down there. That's somewhere that you could have went and watched me play live. As you see all this gameplay behind us, you could have went and saw that. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next time.